This will be the table part of the session where we're going to go deeper into his feeling body. And the first segment of it will be what we call a body scan. And the body scan is to support him become more connected to the feeling sense in his body. And we start simply by using the sense of touch on the table. So Patrick, as you're laying there on the table, you now can, you don't have to look at me now. You can just follow my voice and drop back into the back curves of your body. Just noticing how your body is making contact with the pillow, the table itself, and notice how there are your curves, the whole back body, the back of your head, and how it curves into the back of your neck, the back of your chest, shoulders, even how your elbows are making contact to the table. Notice how it changes. So we're going to invite your open, curious observer, just like maybe you did when you were a kid and you were laying in the sand and you were making an imprint in that sand with the back of your body. And then when you would get up to look at what your imprint looked like, but you're doing that from your feeling sense. You're actually feeling your imprint through the contact points. Head, chest, down to your low back and your hips. And even noticing how the back of your legs curve over the pillow. So we're just taking in like a global feeling sense of the weight of your body. So we're going to work with feeling gravity, the sense of density of your body, the weight. So I first start with bringing attention to curves. And this actually helps to feel that distinction of the client's body, his body, different from the table. So he senses his self. This brings us back to our very first sense of touch in the body, which happens when we are in utero, because when we're in utero, it is through our contact with the amniotic fluid and the uterine wall that we start to sense ourselves through the contact of our skin. And this wakes up that first sense of self in the body. So now, Patrick, just add a few little gentle movements of the back of your head. So you get a sense of just those curves, like moving your head from side to side, but also a little bit up and down, like you're going to lift that's it. And as you do that, notice how that wakens your sensing of the material of the pillow, right? So you're almost getting curious about the density, the foam of the pillow, can you sense even the material that's over the pillow? That's it. And bring that sense of curving down into the back of your shoulders and chest, just noticing what parts are touching. Yeah. There's no right or wrong way to be touching the table. That's it. You're just being curious about how you are touching just by that subtle movement you're doing. Perfect. That's it. Yes. Right. By doing this, he is slowly unwinding any holding of himself because as he's exploring how he's contacting, his body has to relax a little bit to receive information. So the more the body is invited to receive information, the more the nervous system regulates down. It starts to feel more open and receptive to information. Good. So now, start to invite a deeper breath into those curves. That's it. So you're just going to breathe into the curves of the contact points. There you go. Keep doing that. And you're welcome to breathe into, if there's a little movement, if that helped you to feel, yes, right. All the way down, especially including your pelvis, and noticing the contact, especially the glute area that that's it, how that's making contact on the table, and your ability to let the breath follow those inner curves all the way down to your hips. Good. So now I'm inviting his breath. And breath is it's an amazing connector, bridge between the mind and the body. So it's a great way to instantly bring the attention, awareness of the client, Patrick here, to his own body, is just by breathing into those contact points. The breath also provides a bridge between conscious and unconscious parts. So again, his mind is connecting to his body, and often much of our awareness in our body lives in the unconscious realm. So we're inviting more consciousness to parts that weren't previously conscious. And it's like creating a little invitation to his body sense to be more here, right? It's like he is saying hello in this way to his own body. And every once in a while when you exhale through your mouth so that you can let your jaw go. So we're going to let the front surface of your body, yes, relax towards the back surface. There we go. And as you're noticing, as you're watching this, you may be able to feel something different. You notice something is shifting in Patrick. And I want you to start trusting this subtle, maybe barely describable thing that you're seeing happening, because he is too connecting to something that is emerging as he's dropping deeper into this contact points of his body. Anything in particular you're noticing, Patrick, as you explore this body scan?
I feel really in touch with my body on the table, is what I could say. I feel kind of like sort of melted into it a little bit. Like I've made an imprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how is that to have that feeling of the imprint?
It feels nice.
Feels nice.
Yeah, I like it. It feels comfortable.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Nice. Good. So now as you are breathing, we're going to, I want you to get curious about where your breath has the most amount of ease in it. Like in your torso. And it can be as simple as, where does your breath have the most amount of availability? As you inhale through your nose, and you're welcome to, as you have your hands there, you're welcome to move your hands to kind of zero in on that area. So yeah.
Like, should I feel around? Okay.
Yeah, so you can even put one hand over the other just so that we get more focused. And then you're welcome to kind of like, oh, is that it? You can target it, like slide it up a little bit, slide it down. And you can take your time just noticing where in your torso, like if we were to see your torso like a balloon, where does the balloon receive that breath without very much effort? Now we're doing this so that he can start to sync up with what I call the place of ease in his body. One of the greatest tools that we can use to help unwind tension in the body is by connecting the client to that there is a place that doesn't have tension. And this creates contrast, but it also creates a resource for his body to be able to know, what does it feel like to have ease? Yeah. And what's nice is that what's happening here too is Patrick is getting more curious about how the breath is. This gets him more connected to the language of his body, which is the breath, its movement, it's the shape, as you notice how he's connecting to the shape of his breath. These are all the vocabulary words of our body's intelligence, the somatic language. Good, so you just zero in like on the apex of where the breath is. Yeah, good. And just rest there for a few breaths, because it seems like maybe there's multiple areas, yeah, that you can't get it wrong. You get to choose one that you feel connected to. Yeah. And zero in on like what this place of ease feel like how the breath is available here. And there might be other elements other than the ease, but I want you to just focus on what comes to you. What would be some of the qualities that you notice here where your breath is?
It feels really spacious.
Spacious.
Sort of wide open, expansive, free.
That's it, good. Stay with those qualities of spacious, expansive, and free. Yes. When I inquire about the words, we are going to create a link up to his cognitive mind. But as we do so, we're still going to invite him back to connecting the cognitive part of his mind to what it feels like. So we invited his hands, which have that amazing sense of touch. And he did such an amazing job in describing, using these vocabulary words, expansive, spacious. Even it had an emotional texture, like freedom. It felt free. And so now, giving him some space to be with those qualities. And here we're going to invite what I call the range of ease. So as you inhale, I want you to inhale those qualities and feel where you start to feel the stretch, where there's the limit of the inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to exhale towards those qualities, towards the center of it, as much as you can exhale. So that's the end range of the emptying towards it. Good. On the inhale, breathe in those qualities. And notice where there's the edge, where you might feel the boundary, and you're going to try and relax it, but still inhale more. Yep, good. And then as you exhale, you're going to exhale and fall down towards it and feel what happens. There's a little bit of tension at the end where it's like a squeezing, emptying. Relax at that end point. And then again, find another rhythm. Inhale, 2 more, where you expand and you get to receive. So inhales are about receiving these qualities, and then your exhales are about falling back into the essence of it, the core, the concentration of this place. Good. All the way. 1 more. Really allowing yourself to be generous in receiving the expansion, the spaciousness, yeah. And exhale mouth, so you let your jaw go. Notice what you contact, the feeling sense. Good. Nice. And now just bring your arms to your sides. And go back to your global sense, like the original kind of body scan, and just notice the results. Throughout a session, I will often pause to have the client receive the positive results of what we've done so far. Oftentimes, we can skip over and get into a place of like doing more. But if we pause to receive the positive results, that can expand his nervous system's connection to it so that he has his own self-connection and autonomy with these qualities and the results of connecting to them. Anything in particular that you notice about the results of connecting to your place of ease?
It's a little bit hard for me to fully integrate it.
Mm-hmm. And when this is a perfect place to note that when you start feeling like you're at the place of it's hard to describe, we're coming to the place where we're meeting the unconscious, right? We're coming to a place where you're coming in contact with something that was maybe not known, and it's coming into knowable, right? It's like emerging. So it's normal that it'd be hard to describe. And maybe that's part of what you mean by it's hard to integrate. Like maybe it's hard to put words to, or it could feel sometimes disorienting because it's new. It's something that is, yeah.
That feels accurate. Like a little bit disorienting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, describe that disorientation just a little bit. And maybe even like there might be positive qualities to the disorientation, and maybe let's state those first, and then there might be the aspects of the disorientation that you're like, oh, I don't want to move towards that.
I think it feels like a lot of my body was able to kind of capture the ease that I was feeling.
Yes.
And then parts of it feel like less able to receive that, if that makes sense.
Yes, definitely. And this is exactly like when you first were sharing about wanting to find this middle place of meeting of the you that wants to be engaged, and I would say maybe the part that wants to expand and express yourself, right? And then the part of you that wants to be calm and relaxed. Oftentimes, there is this relationship between receiving and expansion, that the reason why we might hold tension is because that can be disorienting. And so we try and control our state, and we become a tense version of ourselves because the receptive relaxation it's not familiar. Yeah. And so this is a perfect way of how we can find out what is your boundaries in your nervous system of receiving that, so that we can expand that, but also see like what happens. There can be associations with that make you go contract or feel unsafe around. Anything else that you, as I say that you notice?
Yeah, like definitely the places that feel tight today, like my glutes, my back, even a little bit like my upper back, just continue to feel sort of like a little bit more, compressed.
Yeah. So would you say maybe they feel more distinct now? Now that you were breathing into your torso, you feel that contrast between where you're holding
Yep.
Yeah. And this is exactly what we want to do for him, is that we want to be able to give him a contrast so that he can feel where he's resourced, right? The ease. And that the ease can actually create more definition and distinction to his holding or tension.